Good morning, and welcome to this quite fine day. Please let us all bundle together in one word of prayer all of our understandings of the divine and the universe, and that we give thanks to God for the grace of this day and for the magic and the promise of these young people that we celebrate. Let us all just have boundless joy and thanks for the wide grace that has brought us to this moment. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem. You may be seated.
Good morning. And welcome to the 155th commencement exercises of the Petty School, which celebrate the class of 2023. I have a number of thank yous to offer, especially on a weekend on which our first thank you must be for the sacrifices of those who have given their lives in the service of this country. To parents, thank you for entrusting us with your children, for paying their bills, especially our bill, being partners with us, and also for your generous donations to Petty, and for the partnership of the Petty Parents Association. I give thanks to our trustees for guiding and protecting Petty, for your vision focused on the long term, beyond the horizon most of us can see. I give thanks for our teachers, for knowing and loving what it is to serve, and for shadowing yourselves to guide the way for your students. And to my non-teaching colleagues, for bringing together our dreams, hundreds of different personalities, and your practical brilliance to support all the noble and hopeful purposes of the education that happens here. And finally, yes, thank you to the class of 2023 for leading the student body and setting the tone for this year. Throughout each spring, at various moments, usually during community events, I start writing my commencement remarks in my own head. And once someone said, you should just use the ones you always use. It's always the same. I said, oh, well, it's not, but okay. I think that was one of my children who said that. So in a recent chapel, as I listened to several seniors read their written pieces, a theme emerged. And then later that evening, I heard more of their work as they read to an audience spread out on the grass in front of the Saunders Chapel patio. They talked about taking risks, experiencing success and disappointment, making difficult choices, and discovering truths about themselves, truths which they had only learned or learned only with the help of their classmates, with your help. Of course, that resonated with me. The most important things we do at Petty are the things we do together. And the most crucial, clarifying lessons we learn are the ones we learn from each other. What I heard in chapel and on the lawn that night captured a distinguishing characteristic of the class of 2023, which I had felt since the fall, but I had not tried to name. You have shared a distinctive, jovial camaraderie in your own personal journeys, as well as your leadership in beginning anew. Jovial camaraderie meaning a cheerful and friendly mutual trust among those people who spend a lot of time together. To me, that distinguishes your class. It is who you have been, and that is the memory I will hold of you. Your jovial camaraderie has been evident in the way you came roaring out of isolation after the pandemic. Eager and even impatient, you have jumped into your leadership role with both feet, with joy and with enthusiasm for being back in community. You have a sense of adventure, a desire to make your own contribution, and perhaps a yearning for face-to-face, shoulder-to-shoulder, unmasked community. I suspect all of these were on your minds during this year. The spirit that characterizes you has gradually emerged as your tone since the fall of 2019, and especially in your last 2 years. You watched the class of 2022, and you began to assume your current role in leading the school to reimagine Petty and create the new normal. And like siblings in a large family, you wanted to be your own self and not the same as your other class siblings. And this fall, you were joined by the postgraduates who always bring, but especially this year, enough of a new note to their year to make things exciting in so many good ways. You created a fabulous homecoming dance, admittedly helped by winning the cup earlier that day. You created so many vibrant weekend activities and dormitory cultures out of the partnership between you and Mr. Reed. The highly successful Heads Day competition, which, I must add, nevertheless continues to raise eyebrows with one team's continued domination. Community meetings, which generally displayed good taste. A tone of celebration of each other to the extent that several times during the year, parents came up to me unsolicited to say, you know, this kind of enthusiastic support for each other is just not the norm in schools. I said, I know, we're lucky. And certainly on a lighter note, and perhaps a historical note, we are glad the Marabonians and Slim Jim reached a historic rapprochement before this morning. There is hope for the debt ceiling. All that is fine and good. There have been other classes who had a good time together. This attitude in this class, a class who are keenly aware and somewhat distinctly worried about the world that awaits you, is, however, something to prize and worthy of note this morning. For all of its many ills, for inescapable 24-hour news, social media, and the growth of facts and information available, regardless that they are often factoids and misinformation spread across the spectrum of ideas, have at least burst the innocence that Thomas Gray referred to more than 200 years ago, recollecting and reconsidering his secondary school experience at Eton College when he concluded his poem this way, "Yet, why should they know their fate? Since sorrow never comes too late, and happiness too swiftly flies, thought would destroy their paradise. No more. Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise." Gray's recollection of boarding school was of a life behind the veil of youthful ignorance, which protected students from the harsh realities of adult experience. Members of the class of 2023, you cannot be as ignorant of the world around you as Gray and his 18th century contemporaries were. The same global connectedness that made Petty's COVID-era connection so successful, as Bridget described very well last night, that same connectedness also prevents that ignorance. You know that there is a reason for skepticism about the future when you consider the news of the day. So, your decision, made differently across the range of your personalities and backgrounds, your decision to adopt that joyful camaraderie is wonderful and indeed inspirational. A sustained optimism is vital. Doubt, hesitation, lack of commitment, these are the biggest obstacles to the progress of mankind. Progress is threatened when too many people decide that solving our problems is either too hard, someone else's job, or that the path is unclear. Some of us have seen, and most of us have studied, enough moments in human history that we know this is the truth. It is at these moments of doubt, of inaction, of uncertainty, that people like you, capable, ethical, articulate people, who want to celebrate community rather than explain why it cannot exist, and who want to see past immediate disagreements to find more enduring, uplifting commonalities, these people, you, class of 2023, make all the difference. So again, thank you. It has been our pleasure during the past 4 years to be engaged with you as all of you learned about yourselves. You have shown yourselves to be citizens of change and heroes with hope. And as you leave here to be out in the world, entrepreneurial citizens in all the communities you join, may you nurture goodness like the rain nurtures life, bring change like the wind, and speak truth with the clarity of thunder. Thank you, 2023. Congratulations, good luck, and alla viva. Sorry, I shouldn't have gone away. It is my privilege, honor, and joy to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2023, Shoshana Leeds.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shoshana Leeds, and I'm extremely honored to be speaking with you today. Sophomore year, I took a speech and debate class. I loved the debate part of class, whether it be questioning the morality of animals in zoos or grappling with the idea of American exceptionalism. But after all, the class was not just called debate. It was speech and debate. And while I thrived in the debate part of class, I was not quite as successful at the speech part. So that's just a warning to you all. Let's see how this speech goes. I remember my first week freshman year sitting in Mr. Frank's humanities class and beginning our first unit on the legend of Rome's founding. Essential to all societies are a set of core values that members can look to for guidance. Those fundamental guiding principles in Roman society include loyalty, virtue, bravery, and respect. We then discussed our own petty core values that could guide us as we were just beginning to navigate our new lives here. A principle of particular importance are the words that prominently arc across the bottom of the petty seal. We finish our labors to begin them anew. In actuality, these words are written in Latin, but I'll spare myself the trouble of trying to stumble through that pronunciation. It's a curious phrase, we finish our labors to begin them anew. I asked myself, what does it really mean, and why is it written on the seal? I left class and did not really give it much further thought at the time. But after reflecting on my time at Petty, I noticed just how much I was applying this principle without even realizing it. Later in my 9th grade fall, I sat at my desk and took out my bright yellow math notebook. I was ready to face yet another one of Miss Montgomery's notorious problem sets. I stared down the first problem, trying to visualize 2 bikes traveling from opposite directions, seeing who could reach school first. No matter what equation I tried, I just could not figure it out. I went through nearly an entire pencil eraser with missteps and incorrect approaches, eraser shavings all over my desk and my lap. At that point, I did not care whether biker A or biker B made it to school first, or even whether either of them made it to school on time at all. But then I finally recognized the steps that I needed to complete the problem. I circled my answer with confidence that Biker B won the race to school. Even though that singular problem took me close to an hour, I could not just finish there. I needed to start anew with the next problem. Regardless of how difficult the previous question was, I could face the next problem with a new attitude and an enhanced mindset from all the work that I had done before. Upon completing the final problem of this assignment, I found delight in the well-deserved confetti floating across my screen when I submitted my homework onto Canvas, indicating that this task was done and that I was ready to start anew on whatever assignment lay ahead. I may not have realized it at the time, but even with a task as small as a math problem, I was starting to put this principle into practice. Not only was I seeing this in a small and individual setting, I was also applying this principle in a team setting on a way bigger stage than just my desk in my room. Saturday, November 5th, 2022, we were getting ready to face Blair, the #1 ranked girls soccer team in the Maple League. I broke my arm at our game just 3 days prior, but there was no way I was missing my last game on Blair Day. As soon as the whistle blew, all of the nerves left my body because now it was game time. Running up and down the field, back and forth, we fought for possession of the ball, trying to establish control of the game. With 12 minutes left in the first half, Blair netted a goal with, I have to admit, a beautiful header. My heart sank, but I quickly had to remember that there were still 52 minutes worth of playing time for us to come back. The clock counted down, ending the first half of the game. After regrouping at halftime, we stepped back on the field for the second half. We were tired but motivated because we knew that this was the last chance we would have to beat Blair. With 18 minutes left to go, we won possession of the ball in the attacking third and took a shot on goal, and we were able to finish the deflected ball that lay right in front of the net. The whole game shifted at that moment. We were now tied and the playing field was leveled. We celebrated as the crowd erupted in cheers, but our work was not done. While we successfully finished the task of tying up the game, we had to begin the new task of being the team that put the next goal on the board. We now played with heightened confidence and an improved mindset because we knew that this was a winnable game. Just 10 minutes later, the ball was played up to me. I dribbled down the field, taking on the defenders one by one until it was just me and the goalie. I shot the ball and it felt like time had slowed. The ball traveled through the air and slipped past the goalie's fingertips. I felt on top of the world, listening to the roar of the crowd and embracing in hugs with my teammates. But mere seconds later, the game started up again. Our work was still not done. Our next task was to finish the game and not let Blair score. There were still 8 minutes left on the clock. We held the ball at the corner flag for as long as we possibly could, doing anything to drain time off the clock. Our defense stayed strong and our goalie made some amazing saves. I watched the scoreboard as it counted down and the whistle blew. We won the game by completing the task at hand and then starting anew with whatever had to be done next. First to tie the game, then to go up 1 goal, and finally finishing out the game. We went on to win the Potter Kelly Cup that day, and it will be a memory that I will hold on to forever. So I would first like to thank my teammates and friends who have helped me since the first day I stepped on campus and have continued to support me over the last 4 years. I would also like to thank my family for always being there for me and believing in me. Thank you to all of the amazing teachers, faculty, and Mr. Quinn for all of the wisdom and encouragement you have provided. I would like to give a special thanks to Ms. McClellan for guiding me through senior year. Finally, thank you, Mr. Roach, for being an incredible advisor, teacher, and coach since my very first day at Petty. I am so grateful for the amazing community we have here. So now, here we are on our graduation day. We have grown so much from when we first walked on campus 4 years ago. We have expanded our minds in the classroom through our amazing teachers. We have learned to find our own voices, and we have also learned to respectfully listen to the opinions of others. We have excelled in athletics and arts, and we have also learned to overcome defeats. We have developed friendships that will last forever. We have helped each other through tough times, and we have celebrated our achievements together. But as we all sit here today, we can acknowledge that we have collectively finished our labors here at Petty. And now it is time for us to all begin anew wherever the next chapter takes us. Congratulations, class of 2023, we did it. Thank you, and Ala Viva.
We'll begin our presentation of prizes with 2 prizes that go to adults and progress to the student prizes shortly thereafter, or a few, yeah. So the first prize is the John Green, Allison Zader Beyond the Call Award, a prize established by John and Allison and bestowed upon an individual staff member whose distinguished service represents our school's shared community values. The winner designates a portion of the income from that prize for a campus project of his or her choosing. This person loves to roll out the red carpet for everyone at Petty. Whether you're a guest arriving on campus for the first time, a parent returning for Blair Day, or an alum returning for a reunion, or a student just getting through your days, she loves to make sure you feel welcome and taken care of, and she always wants Petty to look her best. Often behind the scenes orchestrating logistics, coordinating with vendors, considering details nobody has thought of, juggling lots of things at the same time, and handling pressure with grace, she is the mastermind behind almost every big school event or alumni event you have experienced at Petty. Aligning crowd size and square footage of spaces on campus, the certificate of an insurance policy for a vendor, or the logistics for delivery of this tent or the sheets in Sweatland House. And of course, sometimes dealing with conflicting priorities from different parts of the school. I don't like that color. I wanted this color. That's just a suggestion of the concerns that populate her days. The winner of the Green Zader Award this year returned to Petty more than 20 years ago after her own commencement in a newly created position as manager of A&D events, and her success in it has caused a metamorphosis in Petty hospitality, including our desire for more hospitality at a higher level, and now a whole new portfolio. One trustee recently wrote of our honoree today, quote, "I don't think that in my life I have encountered anyone as extraordinary as Laura Lee. She is one of the most dependable, nimble on her feet people, but it's her sunny disposition and her no-nonsense, I got this under control, you can count on me way of working that has made me a major admirer of hers. She's a rock star in my book. She's simply the best. And as one of her colleagues said, quote, she always wants Petty to shine. Her organization and attention to event details force us all to up our game. When she's in charge of an event on campus, you know it will be a first class, unquote. Although she's often so busy running around behind the scenes and prefers not to sit down when dinner is set, or to be front and center on the stage she helped design, I ask her now to join me on the stage, front and center, Laura Lee Hensel-Radke. And the Petty Parents Association Above and Beyond Prize, given to a member of the faculty for service to the student body above and beyond anybody's expectation. In his official capacity, this faculty member is a teacher, advisor, dorm supervisor, corps leader, and wrestling team head coach, and has been a bike trip leader and assistant football coach as well. However, his commitment to students at Petty and the greater Hightstown community goes well beyond his assigned roles to include student advocate, team builder, cheerleader, and public servant. He lifts up all those who are around him, With his unstoppable enthusiasm, soft-spoken style, and competitive nature, he puts in extraordinary efforts on behalf of our students and our community. A committed classroom teacher, he works tirelessly on perfecting his presentation and engagement. As a dorm supervisor, he has built a dorm culture by creating a structure in which the prefects and the students learn to help build that positive culture themselves. As a core leader, he focuses on the health of the entire community. And as the head coach of the wrestling team for 8 years now, he has led the rebuilding of that team. And this year, for the first time in Petty's history, the team sent both male and female wrestlers to the National Prep Tournament. And by the way, he also introduced white hard hats into the winter term culture of Petty this year. And somewhere in that busy life, he steps aside when he can and joins with 2 other current faculty members as volunteers for the Hightstown Fire Department. For his dedication, thoughtfulness, generosity, and citizenship, the Above and Beyond Award this year is given to Mr. Austin Frank.
Both well-deserved. I'll announce 2 awards. The first is the Dr. Wilbur Eddie Saunders Society Award for Excellence in Classroom Teaching. This award is given by the class of 1947 to commemorate their 50th reunion and to honor Dr. Wilbur Saunders, Petty's revered headmaster from 1935 to 1949, whose leadership, integrity, strength of character, and generosity of spirit was an inspiration to students and faculty. This second time Saunders recipient came to the classroom later in his professional life, and he undoubtedly wishes he had entered the classroom much earlier. Respected by students and colleagues alike, he has been the faculty representative to the Board of Trustees and served on multiple employee benefits committees. During the COVID pandemic, he quickly experimented with multiple modes of instruction. Most notably, he produced, directed, and starred in more than 100 short videos designed to reinforce class lessons. With more than a decade of teaching experience, he has now influenced, mentored, and inspired hundreds of Petty graduates. The graduates of 2023 are grateful. The class of 2023 awards the Saunders Award for Classroom Teaching to Imad Laban. The Morris G. Fredman Prize, endowed by Morris G. Fredman, class of 1909, and awarded this year to the 2 seniors having the highest standing. This year's valedictorian is Shoshana Leeds, and this year's salutatorian is Mike E. Yan.
the Matthew R. Weiner Class of 1998 Award. This award is presented to that Petty senior whose integrity, determination, compassion, leadership, and courage epitomize his or her ambitious pursuit for excellence in scholarship, in athletics, and in life. This year's Matthew R. Weiner Award has grown up on this campus because she lives across the street. Crossing the street formally as a freshman, Deanna tackled the most rigorous of courses from the start. While it is true that she prefers the formulaic and quantitative world of science, tackling AP Physics, AP Physics C, and AP Calculus BC this year, along with completing scientific research as part of our EXP program, she also nurtures a special and long-developed love for writing and art, taking AP Art History and Honors Studio Art this year as well, and serving as one of several Writing Center Fellows. Her junior English teacher described Deanna as, quote, kind, witty, incredibly well-read, unassuming, and an intellectual mecca unto herself, unquote. Continuing to say, quote, on more than one occasion, I found myself astonished at the quality and depth of her literary analysis, unquote. Diana has been a four-year varsity swimmer at Petty. Her coach noted that, quote, she may be the most dedicated and hardworking member of the team, unquote. Participating in many other activities, she is the president of our very active book club on campus, editor for the school's literary magazine, The Amphion, and an active Girl Scout in the same troop that formed when she was in kindergarten. Quite simply, this outstanding scholar, athlete, and remarkable Petty citizen has been an essential part of our campus community, and it's hard to imagine Petty without her presence. The winner of this year's Matthew R. Weiner Award is Deanna Murtaugh. The Dr. Henry Kissinger Award for Citizenship and Diplomacy was established by the Helfet family in honor of Dr. Kissinger. This prize is awarded to the senior who, during his or her tenure at Petty, has demonstrated a mature sense of citizenship and diplomacy, advancing understanding throughout the Petty community. This year's winner of the Dr. Henry Kissinger Award for Citizenship and Diplomacy lends his personality and vision in both serious and lighthearted ways, and is one of the most visible and audible student leaders at Petty. He contributes significantly to both the Black Student Union and the Mental Health Club at Petty. He has helped extend Petty's borders into our Hightstown community and with peer schools in the Princeton area by organizing events to bring local school communities together. As our community focused on reconnecting after COVID, he sought ways, both subtle and less so, to build back Petty's sense of self. As one of the co-hosts of Petty's epic Blair Day pep rally with his twin brother, he added a memorable chapter to the rivalry. Yeah, that's no name yet. Yeah, just the twin. All right. From Spirit Weeks to service initiatives, Niall brought forth and secured ways to plan and pitch in. He just shows up for things, performances, games, presentations, and other student-led events. And he almost always brings a group of fellow Falcons who wouldn't have been there but for his prompting. He has been instrumental in creating the identity of Maribor Dorm, and his contributions to the Petty Boys basketball team have been simply profound. His selection as a captain demonstrates his tremendous growth as a team builder. We will miss the way that Niall has built relationships at Petty, and his next community will be the beneficiary of his generosity and enthusiasm. The Kissinger Award for Citizenship and Diplomacy goes to Niall Coleman. The Ingersoll Honor Prize was established by John Camel, class of 1916, A cup awarded to that student who has shown the greatest development and improvement while at Petty. Like the daily movements of this student, or a conversation with her, an introduction about this student's contribution to Petty could go in many different directions, seemingly at the same time. Her close friendships across the range of student experience, her fierce independence, her impressive personal growth, her innate gifts, which should we cover? All of these options help to describe Lizzie's experience at Petty. And when you add her learned willingness to trust and rely on her friends while cheering for them and learning from them, the picture begins to become complete. During this fall's convocation, Lizzie won the English Department Award for the most improved student, and no one was more surprised than she. But take one moment to probe Lizzie's restlessness, her restless, zany sense of humor, and you sense her love of the language. Outside of class, Lizzie has established herself as an integral member of the Petty Theater Department's programs, specifically as its lightboard operator and a key member of its set crew. Conversations with Lizzie tend to leave people with a smile on their face, as do her witty observations as one of our Daily Dose writers. Brevity is the soul of wit, and she has focused on witty brevity. Lizzie will leave Petty with a confidence learned from success and a sincere humility learned from gratitude. We are certain that she will thrive no matter where she goes. This year's Ingersoll Honor Prize goes to Lizzie Lamb. The Walter H. Annenberg Honor Award is a plaque retained at the school and a cup awarded to that student exemplifying the greatest devotion and service to Petty in honor of Walter Annenberg, the class of 1927. One faculty member described this year's Annenberg Honor Award winner as the cardamom in a pumpkin pie. Just as cardamom is responsible for bringing out the warmth of the pumpkin, as the student body co-president, this student deftly leads with compassion, ensuring that all feel welcome and included in the Petty community. She is also an undisputed academic powerhouse. She has taken full advantage of the breadth of courses offered at Petty, has demonstrated a burning thirst for learning and for intellectual as well as physical adventure. This year, Grace took part in the creative writing signature experience and recently presented her capstone project entitled Somewhere at the Bottom of the Slide, where she addressed how media, experiences, and relationships influence an individual's behavior and outlook. Service leadership is integral to Grace, and she has been actively involved in community service both to Petty, Hightstown, and her hometown of Yardley, Pennsylvania, since the 9th grade year. Among other involvements, she is the club leader of the Agents of Social Change, a service club that partners with the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. There is not an area of community life that Grace has not taken a leadership role: an upper-class prefect in the dorms, one of the editors of the student-run and managed newspaper, 3-year varsity crew member, and student body co-president. This student relentlessly and optimistically invests in herself and those around her, using her combination of focus, playfulness, and enthusiasm to strengthen the bonds that she has fostered and pursue the potential that we all possess. This approach has enabled her to leave an indelible mark on the Petty community and has prepared her to do the same as she looks ahead to her time in college and beyond. This year's Walter H. Annenberg Honor Award goes to Grace Edelstein. The Parents Association John Green Prize. Endowed by the Parents Association to honor John Green, Petty's 15th head of school, the Green Prize is awarded to that member of the senior class who excels in sportsmanship, conduct, scholarship, and character. While this student may have initially earned his status as a leader at Petty because of his excellence in the classroom, on the baseball diamond, and on the cross-country course, he has cemented his reputation as a beloved member of our community for the care inherent in his leadership. His classroom leadership is highlighted by his conscientious approach to his work and the energy and enthusiasm that he brings to his engagement with peers and teachers. He works well with everyone, encourages everyone, and invites everyone to journey together, and was described by one teacher as, quote, the kindest student in my 3 decades of this work, unquote. Luke's academic excellence is a partner in quality and philosophy with his athletic contributions to Petty. After the pandemic led to the cancellation of his freshman season, Luke established himself as a 3-year starter on the Petty varsity baseball team, serving as a regular in the pitching rotation and solidifying the team's defense as a middle infielder. His play and leadership helped propel this year's team to the NJISAA Prep A state tournament game for the first time in nearly 20 years. Luke's athletic impact extended to his 4 years as a member of the varsity cross-country team, establishing himself as a member of the top 5 from the very first race. His contributions as a runner and a leader were invaluable and helped the squad to compete at a high level throughout his time at the program. A terrific success by all objective measures. Luke stands out for his subjective success as a citizen of this community. A sunny disposition, a truly generous heart, and a resilient spirit who wants only that everyone else does their best. He has uplifted countless members of the Petty School family. We've been lucky to call him a Falcon. And this year's winner of the Parents Association John Green Prize is Luke Treese. This is the final prize. The Wyckoff Honor Prize is a cup endowed by the family of William W. Wyckoff, class of 1895, in his memory to that member of the senior class who has completed the work of the junior and senior years at the school, and who, in the judgment of the faculty, unites in the highest degree the 3 most important elements of success: ability, character, and attainment. It is the wish of the donor that the prize shall be awarded to a student of moral integrity, high rank in scholarship, and the natural qualities that warrant future success. The student shall also show a marked spirit of loyalty to the best traditions of the school. This is the school's highest prize. An artist who is a scholar who is an artist, a leader who shines light on others. This year's Wyckoff Honor Prize winner made her presence known during our new student orientation program when they enthralled the audience with the Blue and Gold Day Poetry Slam. More recently, we heard a glimpse of their capstone project entitled Lost in the Mirror, a treatise of poetry and song that delves into themes of identity and home. From the start, this student established themselves as a central voice around the opening week of school. And another person observing her added that, quote, they probably have no idea how much of a positive impact they have on the tenor of the class, unquote. The student is a serious and conscientious scholar who pushes peers to think deeply and critically. The student's AP US history teacher commented that they, quote, emerged as an intellectual leader in the class, making sophisticated comments that elevate and change the trajectory of the conversation, unquote, in math class. And, quote, asks questions and higher order concepts during lectures, getting a deeper understanding of the concepts and any traps to be mindful of, unquote. The students' artistic talents go beyond poetry and music, and it is impossible to overstate the contribution to our theater program. In just 2 short years, they have performed supporting and leading roles in 5 of 6 main stage productions and served as an assistant director in the only one in which they did not appear. Additionally, the student was instrumental in developing and crafting the script of our recent original production, Time to Pretend. In the end, however, It is this student's electric effect on all of us that commends them. They invited us to see the world with all of its challenges, heartbreak, and joy, as a stage where there's good that might be done, a difference that might be made, and lives to be changed for the better. It is my distinct honor and privilege today to award this year's Wyckoff Honor Prize to Chimzaram Egbosimba. I think we're ready. We are privileged to have with us, and I'm proud to introduce Mr. Douglas Davidson, the class of 1964, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, who will present the diplomas this afternoon.
Ready? All right. Yeah, yeah, you guys. Ready? Okay. Final instructions, then we'll begin. Okay. Ready? Joel Chinonyelum Agachi. Chiwoo An. Aiden Kareem Ali. Ava Noor Bajwa. James Alexander Barranco. Dylan Batra. Finn Lovelock Bishop. Elizabeth Bogmalova. Lena Jordan Bookman. Abigail Jean Brady. Grace Oluwayemisi Opadrian Bello Brown. Ryan Elizabeth Buckner. Sophia Chantal Caballero. Ethan Roy Kunhi Campbell. Zoe Jen Chow. Anton Charat Kunlan Kun. Jiai Joy Chen. Sejuen Celia Chen. Caleb Ethan Chow Green. Grace McQuaid Chung. Fabiana Jacqueline Cadella. Vincent Anthony Cadella. Niall Eric Coleman. Raja Eric Coleman. Brooke Lindsay Conigan. Tyler Peter Cusimano. Brad Durfner. Isabella Sophia Di Pasquale. Bridget Elizabeth Doherty. Griffin Owen Dow. Medina Asia Drinkard. Christopher Dew. Grace Edelstein. Chimzarem Victoria Ebosimba. Sydney Grace Eggleton. Erica I. Iglesias. Jenna Eldasuki. Emily Caroline Evu. David Mark Fabian. Kyle Ferguson. Eula Fu. Aichi Fujiwara. Samantha Gao. Luke Minji Garcia. I'm sorry, wrong page. Sorry, Angelina. Angelina Rebecca Getz. Kendall Francis Gray. Daniel Gradell. Madeline Ann Guarini. Karishma Gupta. Dana Brianna Hennings. Marshall Gray Herman. Anya Marie Allison Hilaire. Brian Huang. Donovan Anjuing Zheng. Juliet Helena Jimenez. Abigail Lee Jordan. Aditya Kalyan. Daniel Kardashi. Sean Hans Kathuria. Jenna Kim. Brandon Gabriel Knox. Lisa Kogawa. Tyler Joseph Kowal. Chloe Isabella Crasco. Junghoon Kwan. Nathan Kwan. Sawyer Phineas Lay. Elizabeth Mary Lamb. Jungwoo Lee. Nora Victoria Lee. Seohyung Lee. Shoshana Leeds. Malcolm Lewis. Cadence Lee. Edward Lee. Nina Lee. Michael Lee. Mushin Liu. Seamus Edmund Looney. Ruby Stephanie Lopez Rodas. Danielle Meitkopf. Muskan Manchanda. Alexei Marievsky. Donovan Peter Mavoides. Gavin Matthew Mavoides. Alexander Meyer Blom. Sanari Ade Minis. Lauren Marie Moltari. Mackenzie Rose Moltari. Diana Claire Murtaugh. Arnold Ali Nagar. Alex Lee Nadrich. Madeline Joan Olds. Ava Ostrowski. Shrutika Padhi. Jongwoo Park. Patrick Peepsack. Sarah Plunkett. Andrew Evan Poljevka. Jack A. Pametti. Andy Tian Chin. Riley Rosenberger. Yiyang Ruan. Elia Ruiz. Nikki Madison Safar. Zachary Robert Sandman. Michael P. Sarlo. Tyre Sarsonoff. Evan Rose Sasson. Kieran Parshu Shah. Leighton Alexander Schroff. Aurelia Simpson Santoro. Joseph Helmuth Smith. Caleb Corral Solidum. Ian James Gardner Stewart. Alexi Allen Stout. Emily Margaret Strapp. Faith Patricia Zarvis. Aiden Micah Tam. Cassidy Caroline Tam. Isabella Noré Palmer Tanis. Henry James Terhar. Jerry Tian. Aditya Niraj Chipre. Bao Tien To. Verain Trask. Luke Allen Treese. Mark Vunkit Buncha. Om Vyas. Caitlin Isabella Welsh. Cam Woon Wong. Ethan Michael Reed. Mike E. Yan. Matthew Shu Yang. Emily Grace Ye. Crispin Yu. Catherine Zhang. Jasmine Sarah Zhao. Taishi Zoshima.
Graduates, I invite you to return to the gesture to offer your standing ovation for all those adults who have guided you so committedly for the last 4 years. If we'd all turn to our programs, on that final page, you will find the alma mater. Our applause, our ovation, let it stand in your lives as a testimony to the grace of God. And may this grace remain central in our lives, and may it hover over these young men and women as they venture forth from these gates into the world, so loved by all of us. Amen. And with that, we will move forward.